Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Doctors and nurses at the Cornwall Regional Hospital withdraw service after armed thugs tried to secure the release of a man. Consumer confidence falls for the first quarter of 2022. Sports, under 17 reggae girls searching for back-to-back wins in the CONCACAF Women's Championship. I'm Giovanni Dennis and here are the details. We begin with a developing story. Doctors and nurses at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James have stopped working after armed thugs this morning entered the institution and threatened them while trying to secure the release of a male patient who is said to be a Don. Now, TVJ News was informed that the gunmen demanded that the man be released into their custody, but the medical staff resisted after stating that the patient was too ill and needed treatment. The men reportedly drew guns and threatened the hospital staff. The police were called. Now, it was unclear at news time whether the patient had been released. President of the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, Mindy Fitzhenley, told our news centre that the medical staff at Cornwall Regional are reluctant to return to work out of fear for their safety. When contacted, the CEO of the Cornwall Regional Hospital, Charmaine Williams Beckford, said a meeting was taking place regarding the situation and she was unable to provide further details. To other news, consumer confidence fell by 1% for the first quarter of 2022 compared to the quarter ended December 2021. Head of Market Research Limited, Don Anderson, says, however, businesses and consumers are feeling better about the economy in the first quarter compared to the same period in 2021. He shared the latest findings at a press briefing this morning. Consumer confidence for the first quarter amounted to 157 points for the first quarter ended March. Meanwhile, business confidence barely changed compared to the last quarter in 2021. The index was 131.1. Now, Mr. Anderson says while the indices are a far cry from the pre-pandemic levels, there are some positive movements in expectations, and businesses and consumers seem more confident in the likelihood of a recovery from the pandemic. Councillors in St. Anne are calling for an explanation from the St. Anne's Bay Mayor, Sydney Stewart, as to why the police have been removed from the monthly meetings of the corporation. As we hear in this report from O'Shane Masters, there was a heated debate at the latest meeting of the corporation in which the mayor was absent.
Growing frustration among councillors in St. Anne as they voiced their displeasure over the recent announcement by Mayor Sydney Stewart that there will be changes to a number of committees. He also announced the removal of the police from the General Council meeting. Information reaching our news team is that the head of the police for the parish, Superintendent Dwight Powell, and his assistant had turned up to the meeting, but were turned away. This drew the ire of the councillors. But as the meeting continued, the frustration grew among the councillors.
I was thinking sometimes, and I understand that police only will come into infrastructure. But when police come to infrastructure, they only can speak at traffic. So what happened to the general report for the parish? We're going to get it.
And they were here. They were here at 10 o'clock today.
Council, please, sir. We're going to get a report for the parish. They only can speak at traffic. And the answer, I will change the plan of me, the answer.
They will speak at infrastructure committee. If there's a change, I'm saying, no, that's what I'm saying.
They were the municipality police.
They're supposed to be here. Yes.
And that's why I'm going to. If there's a change that is to be sought, when the mayor comes back, then we can have a deliberation.
Councillor for the Limehall Division, Geneva Gordon Bailey, says due to the removal of the police from the monthly meeting of the corporation, certain questions will not be answered, such as that of party permits.
What I wanted to know, the other zoned areas, even from my community, because I have a lot of persons who solely depend on their little round robin and all of these little things to survive. Now that the sector after 2 years just opened up, we'd have expected that some leeway be provided for the citizens that are law-abiding within this country or this parish. We just need something to work together for the community communities that are less risk then, so the people can ply their wear and survive on what they do best.
When we contacted Mayor Stewart on Tuesday morning, he said he was surprised that the councillors erupted in such a manner over the removal of the police from the meeting. He, however, says that the matter will be further looked into before any further public statement is made. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Trailer drivers who work with the Port Authority are demanding system improvements as they say inefficiencies are costing them dearly. They argue that the problem has resulted in delays at the port. Details in this report.
Haulage truckers queued at the Kingston Freeport.
I'm out here for we've been in this line for almost 2 hours straight. Yeah.
And that's just the beginning of their delays and issues. The drivers, who collect and haul cargo from the dock to warehouses, say the system used by the Port Authority has been taking more time and costing them more money each day.
Well, when we get inside, what is happening, normally, but a couple of years ago, that take probably about a half an hour, 20 minutes for you to get a load and come out, but now it's taking hours. So the influx going in and the influx, the time and wait for come out is unbearable, man, tell you.
It's bad, man, it's bad, because look like, check from them time, me are chatting now. Until now, you don't want to gas me burn for that, because and the money, it's only get $1,000 we get to that ship from here, to go over here, so from here, to logistic. You understand? Yeah, $12. You understand? So, say, and gas raise and everything.
President of the Haulers Association, Barcel Wright, says the challenges have been dragging on for years despite ongoing discussions with the management of Kingston Freeport Limited. However, there has been no improvement.
For 2 weeks now, it has been like this. The numbers were down a few weeks ago and we were having similar challenges. We are asking for them to just look into the challenges and see how best they can make it better for us. Our drivers have been suffering 2-3 hours at a time, 4 hours since the past 2 weeks at given times, and the drivers get paid by trips.
Mr. Wright says the delays have reduced the number of possible trips from 10 per day to 4 on a good day. He says since the discussions, equipment upgrades were supposedly done at the port, but there has been no change in the wait time.
Boy, it is unbearable, seriously unbearable. And we're asking the authorities to look into this as best as they can, because this is killing our business. And as I said, it's years upon years now we have been dialoguing with KFTL to bring a better turn time to us, better equipments. We're not getting what we have been asking for. The scanning is a problem. And we're asking them to seriously look into this matter because it is really unbearable and unacceptable.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Councillors of the Westchester Division, Rainier Benjamin, is raising concerns about the requirement for the Own Your Own Device application process. The Own Your Own Device Incentive Program is an initiative through which the government is assisting with the purchase of tablets or laptops for students who are in need but are not on the program of advancement through health and education path. Speaking at a recent municipal corporation meeting in St. Catherine, Mr. Benjamin said some students in his division have hit a hurdle in the application process due to the absence of a path number.
We were told that we should not recommend students who are on paths because they would have already benefited through school guidance, counsel, and through other mechanisms to support path students. So I was taken aback. And even the CEO in dialogue with the Universal Service Fund and the ministry, they are insisting that we have to supply a path number for the students.
Mr. Benjamin laments the change in the requirement is causing a delay in the distribution of devices to the students. Despite the resumption of face-to-face classes, the councillor said the students still need the devices to complete assignments such as school-based assessments.
You know, some time ago, a well-known politician expounded a doctrine that politics is about who get what, where, and when. And how is it too? Yeah. And I am wondering if this latest moving at the goalposts or the spoke in the wheel or whatever. It's to delay the when for whatever reason. Because I can't see where clear instruction was given as to how to access these devices, and not because most of the orders under the DRMA have been lifted, but the students still need these devices.
And it's now time for a break here on the Midday News, but please stay with us. We'll have much more when you return. Welcome back to the Midday News. At least one councillor believes the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, is acting contrary to its role. Councillor for the Edgewater Division in Portmore St. Catherine, Alric Campbell, says the authority should be the regulator and not be the ones going around collecting disposable waste. He raised the matter at the latest meeting of the Portmore Municipal Corporation, where councillors took the NSWMA to task over the poor collection of waste in the municipality.
The authority needs to be the authority and not the collector. That is a prime example, Your Worship, of why the need to separate the people and the function. I know it is done on paper, but functionally, it's the same people doing everything. Right? So, we want to get to the stage where NSWMA is actually being the authority to deal with the landfills, to set the standards for the industry right across the country.
Opposition spokesperson on land, environment and climate change, Senator Sophia Fraser-Binns, is encouraging Jamaicans to become more invested in climate activities. Speaking at a recent Earth Day celebration ceremony under the theme Invest in Our Planet, Senator Fraser-Binns said everyone should work to save our Earth from degradation and shape a future that is sustainable. She said the climate crisis is one of the greatest threats currently facing the human population.
As a small island developing state, Jamaica is facing an existential threat. And this is evidenced in the rainfall we had just the other day. For those of us who grew up in the country, we've never had this kind of flood before. And for those of us who grew up in Kingston, we're not used to having our roads flooded with just a small amount of rain. But climate change is real, and this is what we're experiencing.
Senator Fraser-Binns said the actions that are taken today will significantly impact the quality of future lives. Therefore, she's urging every citizen and organization to invest in environmentally friendly practices.
And a world where all you have is as concrete and the sun. And if you can imagine that world, then you will understand that no one can survive. And because no one can survive, then we will not have a Jamaica, we will not have a world. And if that is not the future you want, then today is the day to take action. Let us show real commitment to the protection of the environment. Let us invest in tree planting through reforestation. Let us invest in education by educating all our children about the importance of protecting the environment.
To a TVJ News update now, the Nurses Association of Jamaica is reporting progress in its discussions with the Ministry of Finance over its compensation review package. The association's president, Patsy Edwards-Henry, who was speaking to TVJ News recently, is hopeful that the outcome will be positive for the island's nurses.
We have started negotiation with the Ministry of Finance as it relates to our compensation review. We're in the process of doing the analysis and getting consultation. So we have started the conversations, and we are hoping that we will be able to complete the conversation to have implementation by July 2022.
And it's now time for the Business Minute with O'Shane Masters.
Kingston Properties KP Reid says the additional capital to be raised from the additional public offer, APO, will help the company leverage a number of strategic opportunities and reduce debt. CEO of KP Reid, Kevin Richards, shared some of these plans with investors at a briefing recently.
Back in July 2021, we had a short-term, a 13-month bridge loan facility with VM for $700 million, which we plan to repay out of the proceeds of this raise. Also, from that $700 million, we acquired a number of properties. Two of them that we plan to develop as part of our foray into greenfield developments. One of them is a property in New Kingston, which we're going to be constructing a multi-story, multi-use commercial building. And the other one is going to be developed for small warehouses in the Crossroads area. Additionally, we'll continue with our strategy, which is to seek out value-add opportunities in the real estate sector, as we have been doing certainly over the last 5 to 6 years, and that has reaped great rewards and dividends for us over that period.
Total remittances to Jamaica amounted to $225.2 million for the month of February. That's a 6% increase over the similar period in 2021, when remittances stood at $212.5 million. This brings total remittances since the start of 2022 to February to $498.4 million, a 4.5% improvement compared to 2021. The United States remained the largest source market for the period, contributing 71% of the island's remittances. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Shane Masters.
Time now for the top regional and international stories with Sandy Williams.
In the region, the European Investment Bank EIB and the Inter-American Development Bank IDB have signed a new agreement, enabling them to better support climate-resilient projects throughout Latin America and the Caribbean. They say the mutual reliance agreement will improve project implementation and monitoring, empowering the entities to finance climate-focused investment more efficiently. Specifically, the new agreement allows the EIB and the IDB to delegate to each other procurement tasks related to project preparation, implementation, and monitoring. On the international scene, police say 3 Chinese nationals and their Pakistani driver were killed in an explosion in the southern city of Karachi. The blast ripped through their van, injuring at least 4 others near the university's Confucius Institute. Police have yet to determine the cause of the blast, but the separatist Baloch Liberation Army said the van was attacked by a female suicide bomber. The group opposes Chinese investment in Pakistan, saying locals do not benefit. If confirmed, it would be the first time an attack by the group has been carried out by a female militant. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
And we now head to a quick break. When we come back, Simon Preston will have the Midday Sports.
Welcome back. It's now time for Midday Sports. I'm Simon Preston. The under-17 Reggae girls will be searching for back-to-back wins in the CONCACAF Women's Championship as they battle the host nation, the Dominican Republic, in Santo Domingo this evening. The Reggae girls thumped Bermuda 7-0 in their open on Sunday, while Domrep fell 10-0 to Canada. Kickoff is at 6 o'clock Jamaica time. In the curtain raiser at 3 o'clock, Canada will entertain Bermuda. The top 3 teams from each group will advance to the round of 16 of the competition. The young Reggae girls will end the group stages on Thursday against Canada. Former reggae boy Joby McAnuff was the recipient of the Sir Tom Finlay Award for his 21 years of service to English football. McAnuff received this award after amassing 635 appearances in the Football League and 38 caps in the Premier League. McAnuff will also be inducted into the English Football League's Hall of Fame for his time playing in the Championship, League One and League Two with Wimbledon, West Ham United, Cardiff City, Crystal Palace, Watford, Reading, Leyton Orient and Stevenage. McAnuff reacted to receiving this award.
It's a massive honour, privilege to receive an award like this. I think anyone that's played with me will know I'm a team player first and foremost. It's a team game. You know, I'd always put that at the forefront of everything I've ever done. So to win an individual award after my career's finished, I didn't win many while I was playing, that's probably the reason why, is certainly special. And just in terms of the EFL itself, I spent most of my career there, and obviously the Premier League makes the waves, gets the headlines. We make a fair few of our own as well.
McAnuff made 32 appearances for the Reggae Boys while scoring 1 goal in the process. Last season's beaten finalist Manchester City will host Real Madrid in the first leg of the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League this afternoon. Kickoff is at 2 o'clock. The first leg of the second semi-final between Villarreal and Liverpool will be played on Wednesday. The UEFA Champions League final is slated for May 28 in France. And finally this afternoon, croc swinger Gareth Stepani was the only Jamaican named in the America's Championship team of the tournament in the 2022 Rugby Sevens World Cup qualifiers, which were held in the Bahamas over the weekend. The 32-year-old was named in the team of the tournament after tallying 5 tries and 5 conversions as Jamaica sealed World Cup qualification. The rest of the 7 comprises 2 Canadians, a Mexican, 1 Bahamian, 1 Trinidadian and 1 player from Belize. The Crocs are now Jamaica's first male sports team to qualify for 2 Senior World Cups. The 2022 Rugby Sevens World Cup is slated to run from September 9 to 11 in South Africa. And that is where we'll leave the scrum for now. For your Midday Sports Report, I'm Simon Preston. Giovanni, it's over to you.
Well, my money is on the Reggae Girls again this evening, Simon. What say you?
Yeah, it's a good team that has come prized together for this tournament. Certainly they have the ammunition to get the better of the Dominican Republic. The tougher test will be against Canada on Thursday, but certainly they have the goods to get over Domrep this evening for sure.
So hopefully Thursday will be a top of the table clash.
Precisely, yes.
Okay, well for right now, that's the end of the Midday News. I'm Giovanni Dennis. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, have a good afternoon.